The World Wrestling Federation. For over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
What's our name?
Well, men on the
Are you ready?
Well,
Here we go. Bam, bang, boom. Here we go.
Welcome to the New Gen on a Mission podcast on the Backbone Wrestling Network. I'm Tim Slomka.
I'm JP.
Thanks for joining us again. As always, you're on the journey to relive the New Generation era, to find the best and some of the worst of a wrestling time period often forgotten. From Bret and Shawn Survivor Series 92 to Bret and Shawn Survivor Series 97, look beyond the pay-per-views, examine the weekly TV, see what worked, what could have worked, and what failed. JP, how's life?
Pretty good, man. We got snow football and 30 degrees in Florida, so it's officially winter.
Oh, you guys are cold? Oh, man.
Yeah. For 3 days. Yeah.
Oh, place is going to shut down, probably.
Right, yeah, it's going to be COVID.
Panic mode, yeah. COVID too.
Right.
Light dusting of snow. So,
exactly.
Good to hear. Good Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. That's my holiday. I mean, well, just besides the debacle from 12:30 to 4, but yeah. Food and everything was good, but at least we got rid of that dumbass coach. So.
I mean, it was ridiculous. The fact they defended, I think they had the press conference that morning, and I think they were gonna. I think if he would have said like I'm an idiot, I think if he would have said like I'm an idiot, I messed up, like please forgive me, maybe they would have kept him job. But like they're like this guy's doubling, quadrupling down on this stupid.
To be so arrogant.
Yeah.
To be so arrogant and just be like, no, that was the right call.
I don't even know. People couldn't even figure out what he was trying to do. I don't even like that. That's when like sometimes you're kind of like, okay, I kind of get that, or like, okay, I could kind of. I don't even know what the point was.
Well, to let your rookie quarterback like take all the blame for that.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Like,
it was a disaster. Disaster franchise.
What are you
saying? One of many. You got Cleveland and the Jets and Giants and there's a whole bunch of them. There's
a lot of poverty franchises as they call them. So
yeah, we can't. Can we just be Pittsburgh?
I know. It's some fans don't like, and they want to fire Tomlin every year. They don't realize how lucky they have it.
I know. Yeah, it's like. You don't understand. It was kind of funny. I was listening to the ESPN 1000. They were trying to talk about like what do Chiefs fans complain of? Like, I
listened to that.
It was amazing. It's like they talk about Andy Reid's diet. Like, it was dying laughing. I told my wife.
A guy called up from KC and said,
yeah,
it's true though. Yeah, what do they probably do complain about something?
I'm sure I complained in the Jordan years about something about him, but
you're just
rarely.
too good.
Yeah, you're just too good. Yeah.
It's not fun.
Rest Jordan more. All right.
Right.
Let's move on to Bob Backlund. Some real stories. All right. Well, glad to have a great Thanksgiving and glad to be back on our normal 2-2 format here. So we are going to start with a live Raw, February 20th. Stuff really picks up here in the next these 2 weeks. Like basically, we kind of talked about last time the fallout of Rumble and then the tapings really kind of slowed them down a little bit. You could start seeing some feuds, but this is what happened. So. This is really what we're going to kind of see. We're going to see a lot happening here. So we start with Bam Bam coming out. So this is a live show from Georgia, Macon, Georgia, on February 20th. So we're going to get some big debuts and some big things. So we get Bam Bam Bigelow out for squash. Great to bring him up. And then immediately after the match, he kind of gets in the rings and really talks about how he's afraid of him, how he's the man. Crowd really eats this up. Mm-hmm. And I think a really fun thing, they talk about how he's back after his 30-day suspension, but he's still got the same anger, the thing that we've loved about him. It's the marquee angle going into WrestleMania for sure. And so it's great to have this kind of come out first with a live taping, and the crowd, like I said, it kind of ate it up. So good start to Raw doing this segments.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's a squash, right? Like,
right.
We kind of say, squash is kind of weak, but this was necessary. So.
Yeah, and to play the suspension right the way they did it, like it just shows like when they want to do stuff right, they really can. It's so easy, but oftentimes they just want to dick around with certain things. But storytelling is really what matters, and they're nailing it here.
Yep, and then we get an Am-Bomb Squash, who looked good, but kind of he's a guy that really has nothing to it. And then we get King's Court, and I think this is all you.
Oh yeah,
or Aaron George if we had a special guest, Aaron George.
Yeah,
but you'll sub
right
for him.
Up there with him. Yeah, I'm like I legitimately probably would put Sid in my top 10, 15 favorite of all time. So he's up there for me. So spoiler alert, that just spoiled it. But we do have King's Court with HBK. So HBK's out there, saying how people are mobbing him and stuff, and how he still needs protection, to replace Diesel, I guess, and that leads to calling out his new bodyguard, which is Sid. So when Sid walks out, like, first of all, I don't know what like the expectation was of people at this time. Like I wasn't like fully week to week at this time. I knew Sid was a WCW guy, early WWF guy. I don't know if people like expected Sid to come back, but the way they like the audience reacted to him and like how intense he was when he comes out is so money. Like he sets himself apart from anybody else on the roster. Like Diesel's a big guy, Mabel's a big guy. Other guy Bundy, Bigelow, they're big guys, but Sid comes out and just looks like so intimidating and so intense. It just makes it awesome. So he's walking in the ring and Cornette like drills this like lines like he's a psycho, he's a lunatic, kind of playing into the stabbing of Arn Anderson. So, the end of '93, he was going to get the big push. Was supposed to go to Starrcade against Vader, and that derailed when he stabbed Arn Anderson in like a hotel or whatever with some scissors, and then he kind of went to like USWA for pretty much the most of '94. Then was kind of in there. He was like the champion for '95 for a little bit, so he was kind of back home doing a softball thing, local kind of guy, out of the minds of people. And then now he comes out here, and the stories are well known of how unhinged he was. So pretty awesome, pretty awesome to see him. And then for them to do they do like the Diesel and Shawn high five also, so that was cool. And he just drips with intensity, and like he's not the best promo guy, but just the way he plays the character is perfect. So
he's psycho.
They nailed it.
Yeah,
they nailed like a real life incident actually enhanced his character. Oddly enough, because he does he knows he has that physical charisma. Like he just jumps off the screen. He's what Adam Bomb tries to be.
Yeah.
A big athletic guy, but he doesn't portray himself as a big athletic guy. And Sid just does it without even, lifting a finger. So awesome segment. Glad that he's in the company. I know it's going to take a little while for him to actually have a match, but
which is crazy. But it's also crazy that he's kind of this late. I would have thought he would have been around for a while, but he's just showing up now, a month away from Mania, and that's fine. But I would have thought he was in a lot longer. You know what I mean? It was kind of.
I wonder why it took. Maybe they were just trying to slow play Shawn, but because he wasn't like I said, all of '94 is in USW, so they could have got him at any time. I wonder if he was just this last second. Hey, let's see. He's been clean for a while. No incidents. Let's try him out, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
He is flaky, so.
Yeah, I don't know what they kind of thought. Why it's weird bringing him as a bodyguard. I don't know if they thought the split was right away, or they realized they wanted to keep Diesel. They needed a big guy versus Diesel, and just hey, we don't have anyone. So because he feuds pretty quickly with Diesel after this, right? So maybe it was shoot, we need a guy for Diesel really quickly. I don't know.
It is weird because you got Bret that faced Diesel. Then you have Owens kind of in the mix. Then it's Shawn. So it's all smaller guys.
Yeah.
So their thought was, let's bring in big guys. But that
than Bundy.
Never worked. Yeah. that combination just doesn't work.
For Diesel especially.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Especially for Diesel. So maybe that's what they wanted. Maybe they just wanted a big guy. But I'm just happy he's there either way. So.
Yes. They also, lost my notes. The King also talked about how he brings up how racist Bret is towards Japanese people.
Yeah.
It's also that he's got his music out already too. When he came out, they've got that music that we'll know synonymous with Sid for the next 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's just no shirt on as well, just pouring sweat from walking. He's in his jeans too. So cool, really cool introduction. I thought they nailed this. He looks like a beast. He looks really solid. So I thought it was really good introduction. And it was a long segment, too. They gave this a lot of time because they brought up the King. So they brought King up versus Bret. So you kind of think that's Bret versus King if you're thinking Mania. That's really kind of where it feels like it's going. Yeah. And then you got you kind of got this Diesel, Shawn, Sid thing going on. We get a nothing Blue Brothers squash match, and then we get Double J versus Diesel. They're in a lot bigger arena this time, so it makes Diesel look a little bigger. They really kind of pan out to the arena a lot here. So it was also, I kind of noted, was this Diesel's first television title defense. Like, it kind of seems like it's. Yeah, I thought he looked impressive. This match was a lot of Rhodey and Double J both coming in the ring.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of that. But mid-match, we get Sid comes down the aisle, and they have a long stare down with Sid, Shawn, and Diesel. I thought it was really, really good use of Sid during the match. Afterwards, right? Like the fact that he kind of came out and stared. It's also crazy how short the bodyguard for Sid works. Like, he's only gonna be here for a month, and he's already out of new stuff. But I like the match. I thought Diesel actually looked pretty good. But again, the best parts he looked at is when he's taking on two guys. The actual in-ring stuff, was okay. But it was really meant to elevate, Double J to, hey, he's on par or close to Diesel. He's kind of that Intercontinental Champion in waiting. And then really post-match advance the storyline between Sid and Shawn and Diesel.
Yeah, I don't know. Diesel with this match with Double J, it's an okay match. I'm not really feeling Diesel as champion yet.
No,
they play this whole like he's a celebrity, cool guy and everything, which the character is fine, but he just doesn't seem like a WWF champion. Like he doesn't work that well in the ring, obviously, and he just doesn't. He's not like charismatic enough on the mic. Like, he's cool on the mic, but that doesn't like get you like hyped up and for his matches kind of thing. So. I guess we'll just still see how it goes. We still got a while of his run here, but just so far, it's just a really timid title run.
Yes.
I would say.
And then also, too, like, he's got this, the match was, like you said, kind of okay, right? It was like okay, but, this is his first title defense, so we could see his first time fighting. It just feels so kind of bland in this aspect. So, it, like you said, it was okay, but nothing crazy. So
his best matches are like these top tier workers that pull something out of him and like walk him around. So you're not gonna really find like probably any hidden gems out of Diesel.
No, it really wasn't. Like, I kind of wondered maybe this would be amazing, and it really kind of wasn't. It was it wasn't the worst match you've ever seen. It just kind of was that. I think they did a good job of kind of making it a better match with Rhodey coming in and out throughout the match. So, and then they talk up next week that it's going to be Luger versus Tatanka. They talk about how there's going to be an action zone. Tatanka beat up Chief J Strongbow. So they talk about this big feud, kind of big match coming up next week. And we'll see if that really happens, or how it happens to end the feud. Maybe.
Right.
Oh, hopefully, but probably not. So that's it. Anything else you have for the Raw?
No, I think we're good. Just a good segment, at least.
Yeah, they had too long. The match we kind of didn't talk about was over 10 minutes long. It was two segments. The Sid thing was very long. So these were longer segments. So it seems like it wasn't a lot happening, but there were just two, nowadays we got the 4-hour Raws. It's a lot less, but with a 3-hour Raw, 1 hour Raw, it kind of moved along pretty quickly. So then we moved to Superstars. This is going to be taped 124. This is the night after the Rumble. So kind of crazy that they're going to make Bulldog do this again the night after the Rumble. Right. And we get, February 25th, we get a random Battle Royal, 20-man Battle Royal. Man. Yep. Pretty cool. You want to, why don't you give some of your comments, and I'll kind of give you some mine.
Yeah, so I'm a fan of Battle Royals just as a rule. Like, I like if it's something random to watch, like not necessarily, weekly television. It doesn't make sense. But just if I'm gonna like get a time capsule of a certain era, I like to go watch a Battle Royal and be like, oh, this guy was there. So for that, it's kind of cool. And this like lineup of characters you see coming down, you got a couple guys coming down, but as far as the whole participants, we have Bulldog, Bundy, Kid, Mantaur, Duke Josie, Aldo Montoya, Henry Godwin, Lawler, the Blue Brothers, the Head Shrinkers, Mo, Mabel, Quang, Heavenly Bodies, HBK, Bob Holly, and Adam Bomb. So a little mix of decent workers. Like, you got Shawn and Bulldog in there. You got Kid that can fly around. Lawler's going to bring some entertainment. So it's not just like all the bottom tier guys, which is kind of good. But very random to have like on a episode of Superstars. So I guess it's because they're like Bulldog, complained like the music was playing everything. He thought he won, whatever. So they ran this back. So the very beginning of the match, everyone goes to attack Shawn, and Shawn.
Can I get my couple guys out? So we get not every guy get entrance music too.
Right.
Kind of random. I thought Mantaur was second guy out. It was Bulldog first, and then they had Mantaur. So maybe it seems like they're kind of going with something with him because they had a new logo for him too in the entranceway. We get Jerry the King Lawler. That was the big thing. So we got Vincent Gorilla on commentary for this because the King's going to be out there. And then Vince McMahon with this classic Adam Bomb comes out. He goes, Adam Bomb is the odds-on favorite to win the Rumble now, or to win the Battle Royal. Now, again, he didn't predict him going to WrestleMania this time, but that it's also funny that Mabel got an entrance with this song, but Mo was in the ring already. It was pretty funny. So they kind of, of the guys you named, about 10 of them got entrance music and kind of special entrances. It went through a commercial break, so they kind of played this out pretty long. So this is definitely a big segment in it. It's kind of cool coming off the Rumble to do this, like especially the next night. If you watch Rumble and the next night you get a Battle Royal, pretty cool back to back. Like seeing a lot of these guys, it does show the length of the roster. But I think this group of people is better than what they brought out at the Rumble. Like just given the fact you got kind of like a King in there for a better spot. They make some like Bob and Mantaur seem bigger just because of the way they come out with their entrance music and then kind of the way they came out in '95. So pretty good setting up. So why don't you start off with the last person in is Shawn Michaels.
Yep. So Shawn's like the one that's been gloating and everything like that about the Royal Rumble. So naturally, everyone turns their attention to him and goes to attack him, and he legit just runs and jumps over the top rope, eliminates himself, and leaves. So I like this move. I know it's like a cheap kind of move to get him out of the match, but like he won the Rumble. He's already going to Mania. He has nothing to prove. I like that he just dipped on it and said, screw you. You're not going to get the satisfaction of throwing me over kind of thing. So that was pretty cool. The ring clears out like a little, and we get like a nice exchange between Jerry Lawler and the 1, 2, 3 Kid, which is a nice little mix of two of my like favorite guys. So that was cool to notice. Mabel and Bundy kind of struggle to eliminate each other. You kind of know that they're going to play this spot. Like
they love this thing.
Two fat guys. Yeah. So then like a few guys come over to help Bundy, and he throws Mabel out, and Bundy's like yelling at Mabel, "I did it by myself," even though he really didn't. Then Bundy turns around and gets tossed. So you can kind of see that coming from a mile away also. A great spot, a very memorable spot. I didn't realize it was this Superstars that this came from when Lawler gets eliminated and he's like hopping around on 1 foot, like to show that 2 feet didn't touch the ground, and then Bret comes down out of nowhere. So even Bret Hart is on this taping, so it's pretty cool. Comes down and stomps his foot and then just like beats the crap out of Lawler. So awesome spot, very memorable. And then you like come down to the final four, and it's one of the Blue Brothers. I don't know which one it is. Mantaur, 1, 2, 3 Kid, and Bulldog. So weird little mix here. And then that Kid gets tossed first, which leads then tossed. Then Bulldog flips Mantaur. So it's down to Bulldog and one of the Blue Brothers. He tries to toss Blue. Then HBK comes down and punches his ribs, and one of the Blue Brothers looks like he's going to take the advantage, goes to eliminate Bulldog, and Bulldog dodges him for the win. So weird to do the guy that was the runner-up in the Rumble. This leads you to think that Bulldog is now going to face Shawn for the number one contender or something for the Rumble, but that doesn't happen. So really weird to do that. I don't know what their hope was. I don't know if they're trying to build Bulldog's character up even more, which even then that doesn't really come to fruition. So I guess as a standalone Rumble it was cool, but as far as what they're trying to do as a company, I don't really get it.
Yeah, a couple of spots. Yeah, the King thing was a big thing with Bret Hart. So you have to think that's the Mania match right now, right?
I so wish that was a match now. I'm mad now. I just wish that was a match.
Right, and I mean, what we get is not great. Sorry, one more note. Oh, I also loved at the beginning when they talked about how when King Kong Buddy comes up, they talk about how he's the big guys are the favorites, and I'm like that. Like they're never win. Like when's that work for Yoko, Big John Studd? Like that's it. It's like usually that. Our poor boy Adam Bomb gets eliminated off screen by Mantaur of all people. I would say Mantaur really looks good here, right? He gets his own entrance song. Is a top 4 guys.
Got
Cornette. So I think they really thought something of him. We'll see. So they also weird that Gorilla brings up Andre the Giant like that. Like they rarely bring up old guys, but here they bring up Andre the Giant. So that was cool. I like the stuff with Bret and King. That was awesome. Like with the 1 foot on the ground. I think it's really different. It's really weird that Shawn comes out for Bulldog. Like they don't have a feud, so like why would Shawn care? Yeah. He got rid of himself on purpose. It was a little silly when some of the guys like chasing him around, like it was a little overacting, but like it makes no sense that like Shawn then is trying to fix Bulldog. Like you said, I wonder if there is a match somewhere, like on the road to WrestleMania or something. Maybe they do fights, but it feels like they've pumped up Bulldog. They've kind of have him with Shawn. Like there definitely feels like there should be a feud here. It's crazy that Bulldog will be a main eventer by the end of the year, but like right here they're kind of getting that way, but they decide to stick with Luger instead.
Right.
So we'll kind of see how that comes about the next couple weeks. And then like I said, my other note was the Mantaur is pretty good. And it's crazy the Blue Brothers in the finals. Like how does that happen? That they're kind of new and kind of one of them again, which I don't know which one it is. I sound like Vince. We sound like Vince. Like we don't know which one it is, but we are paying the guys at least.
Exactly.
That they kind of have this that they want that he's in the finals. Kind of crazy there. So, and then anything else you want to add on kind of the end?
No, I think we're good
there. Good Bulldog. Okay, and then we get Double J. So kind of then you get some guy that's not in it. It makes sense that he wouldn't be in there. So I love that. His coat. He's already won the award for most 90s outfit.
Oh, yeah.
The double blinking Double J. I'm sure everyone's seen this with the super white coat and then like blinking big J on it with the red letters. And he's such a jag off. Like it just comes off. It's just this like prick. Like it's just awesome. So he gets a quick squash. Cool that he's not in the Rumble. Like or in the Battle Royal. Don't put him in there. You don't need him. And then we get Mountain Rock. Well, I actually have here that the tie-dyes now fighting Double J for New Gen outfit. Like these guys are going back and forth. Gorilla says it's rock out time, which was the lamest thing I think I've ever heard. And then Vince tried to act cool with like, oh yeah, this is the rock and roll we're talking about. And then my note also put is like after the Netflix documentary, I don't know if you watched it, but like sometimes when I see Vince doing this, I'm like, dude, he's such a creep. Like I can't get it out of the thin mustache, like just the thin mustache, and then him acting like this. Sometimes I'm like, oh my god, what's wrong? He looks
like the dad from Addams Family.
Yes, he's definitely yes.
Gomez, I think his name
is. Yeah, he's definitely that. And then they did have a Raw is War video game promo. I played the crap out of this game. Like I love that game. So I saw that promo. I'm like, man, this was a good time for me for wrestling. Like I was all in on the product, and then this wrestling game to come out, it was just like.
That's the one with Luna in it, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like it's more. Yeah, it's the one that's like wrestling based. You can actually do finishers, and I think there might have been a Royal Rumble
has a crazy finish, like he bounces on from one apron to another. And I remember that.
So and it was pretty good. Like it was the first time they had like multiple guys, like 10, 15 guys in it that you could really play. So I know I was pumped up to that. You want to go for the last match then and finish up?
Yeah. So we did a quick vignette of like Totoro. Is this NYPD Blue?
Yes, that's what he's from. Okay. I've watched 0 episodes. So
me too. So I was thinking like Shot in the Dark. I don't watch any of those like crime shows, so I didn't know which one. But I figured it was NYPD Blue. So it's got Paul Bear in drag, which is pretty hilarious.
What is going on?
I don't understand. I think he just wanted to do that, and he's like, "Hey, we got this segment for you. You finally can, get in drag." So I'm surprised it wasn't Pat Patterson. But then it ends the show with an Owen Hart squash. So kind of keeping him in the purview, I guess. Even though he's fizzled out greatly from what he was before. Like it just seems like they have like all these like start and stop guys on the roster. They never really go through with. Like you got Luger, you got Owen, you got Bulldog. You got Bret to an extent that they really didn't. They shunted down the card. Backlund's kind of like that. Just a lot of what could have been guys, but that just get pushed to the side for maybe one or two that doesn't really. I don't know. It doesn't really cause traction in your company, so I don't understand what the point was to not try some of these other guys. But
yeah, and the thing with Owen is they keep talking about how we need to tag team partners. So I'm not really sure what that is. It's just random. Oops. I think I got some feedback on yours. I don't know. Or is that me? Sorry.
I'm good.
Okay, there's definitely some noise. All right, we're good. But Owen just keeps talking about how he needs a title shot. And he needs a partner. So definitely very random.
Yeah, like the fact that like the tag titles are his goal now just sucks.
Just out of nowhere. Like why? Like
Right.
they haven't brought up any reason that he's now going after. I think the way they do it, right, at Mania with him saying like, "Oh, I want to follow Brett's footsteps," there, but there's no indication of that right now. So maybe we're missing that on Wrestling Challenge, but it's just not showing up here. So we'll go back to Raw then, unless you have anything else on Superstars. Nope. No, okay. Raw, the 227 Raw. We get this is taped on the same one as last time, so we're gonna have 3 tapings from the Macon, Georgia Raw. Mm-hmm. We get Luger versus Tatanka. So this feud has been brewing since last summer, and we get Luger bringing out Chief Jay Strongbow. We get the fact that they show highlights of the Action Zone fight where Chief Jay Strongbow got involved again.
Right.
The crowd is super into this. They are pumped for Luger and Tatanka because, like we said, they've been battling since July. $1 Million Man's there too with the urn. So like you're talking about this big, awesome setup for a match. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna end on a count out. I just want to spoil that of like all this work and we end on a count out. There were a couple things in the match was pretty cool. Tatanka actually ripped up Chief Jay Strongbow's headdress, which was awesome during match. Big heat. For that. That's something I arrested versus Tatanka a while back, but it still got heat. Like the crowd was into this. There was a spot where Tatanka tried to leave and Luger actually grabs him and carries him back. That's crazy because Tatanka's a pretty strong dude. Like he's I think an ex power lifter. So he doesn't look fat, but man, he's probably just pretty jacked as all hell. So Luger carrying him back was pretty crazy. The crowd was especially into that. But at the end, we just get the two guys kind of fighting outside, double countouts, and this feud is, I guess, over. Really disappointing. And my biggest thing is this crowd was nuts for this match. Like everything Luger did, they were for him, and just kind of ends flat. Really disappointing. Definitely felt like a cage match or a Mania match, and instead we kind of get this count out. Maybe there's one more match, but to say this is kind of it, like really disappointing.
Yeah, it really showed. Like I was over this feud. Then I see the crowd reaction. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm wrong. They got something here. But then for it to end flat like this, I was just like, all right, yeah, this is dead. But the crowd like has consistently still been behind Luger.
Yep.
On every like big moment, like he's sold it well. He's gotten the crowd into it. So it just like really makes you wonder if he would have got that title run, how different the company would look. I feel like his stature and his ability to work, he could work with more guys too. So like he could work with Bret, and he could also work with Diesel or Sid or whoever, and it not be this like completely lumbering big guy match. So he obviously gets blown up pretty easy this period, and he's not like the best worker at this time as he was like in the early 90s or late 80s, early 90s. But I still think he would have been better than Diesel so far, and I guess it's just one of those what could have been.
Yeah. And I mean, at this point, work rate isn't everything, right? Like that really wasn't. But like, he was okay. There's guys that are just bad, but he was okay, and he found ways to get the crowd into him.
100%.
He's definitely had some bad matches. The Yoko, second match has been pretty rough, and he's had some times where he hasn't looked great. Survivor Series, he really didn't look great. But this, he fed off the crowd and got the crowd pumped. He was into it, and it just kind of disappointing. Maybe there's another match, but this feels like we need a cage match to end this, or a Mania match with a clean ending. So disappointing.
Yep.
You want to keep on then rolling with our squashes?
So we get another Owen Hart squash, and then we get the Bigelow and LT segment. So it's like a little sit down. Starts off with LT, like Vince and Lawler kind of grilling him about things. And, LT, it's weird here. So if you don't know the characters involved, say it's your first time watching it, you would think LT was the heel and Bigelow might have been the face, because LT is very like kind of cocky, saying that Bigelow lost to a 13-year-old, meaning the 1, 2, 3 Kid, when the Kid's one of their baby faces on their roster. So that was kind of weird.
Yep.
He is very smooth on the mic and everything, which being like a high caliber athlete, I'm sure he's dealt with the media a lot, so it's not like he's new to this. But him like going into how he's not scared of anyone, which is cool. So I like that he's also not backing down. Then like Lawler kind of chimes in saying he wants to hear the real side of what happened and let Bigelow talk. So Bigelow's talking about how he wasn't supposed to provoke LTs, things like that. Then Bigelow even goes to like the extent to like kind of big up 1, 2, 3 Kid, saying he's a part of this roster and you can't just take anyone for granted. So that was a cool little moment there. I just love this stuff. I love this whole feud. Like, I didn't expect to like this. I remember the match. Like, I remember the match being good and everything, but like for it as a whole package to be it's probably the best thing on their TV this calendar year so far. I just did not expect that at all. So I think every time something's come up with these two, like any combination, it's been a home run so far, and this didn't disappoint.
Yeah, there was also too as well. Cornette was at ringside doing so. We got rid of Shawn Michaels. Cornette's with as the heel commentator. He's amazing during this conversation where he keeps talking about LT being scared. Like, he really brings it over.
Oh yeah, it was Cornette.
Cornette,
yeah, you're right.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I had my notes. I think it was Cornette, but they did a great job of just kind of bringing up. King does that on Superstars all the time too. Yeah. So I know we don't bring up some of the commentary that Superstars, but they both do a great job of just talking about how scared LT is. And it was a good segment. It kind of like you said, both guys really are into this. They're both very well talking on the mic, so pretty good segments there. Do you want me to get the doink match then? Is that why you?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we get this random long doink squash match. Like, it's got to be like 20 minutes. I don't know. I kept looking up at my screen. It was still going on. I'm like, what is going on here?
So long that I looked up on Cage Match to see how long he's with the company.
Okay.
We still got like another 6 months of this shit.
This was.
I thought he was gone soon.
I thought he was gone before this. I thought Rumble was his last appearance. Yeah. But we get him here. The crowd's kind of into him. He wins with a whoopee cushion, but I mean, there's no attempt at a feud with him. It's just like a guy to get pops, and which is again okay. It came off a hot segment, but it's just kind of like you're trying to get the national media involved in this, and then you should bring out Doink the Clown with Dink right after. It just doesn't feel like the guy. Like, maybe the Luger match after this would have been, better for people tuning in for LT. Again, I don't hate the Doink and the Duggins and the Bushwhackers as much because I think the crowd resonates with them, kids, but this is rough. And then we do follow it up with Kama Mustafa versus Ken Raper. That can't be his name. There's no way.
Oh, yeah. He wrestled in Memphis, too.
There's no way his name. That's not his name. Yeah.
That's his
birthday.
name.
His birthday. There's no way. Come on.
I think he also goes by Jerry Lawler.
He's his cousin or something, probably. But Kama keeps asking about why no competition. The crowd is silent for Kama. Again, he's one of the guys that they haven't presented that well. We liked him, but like, it was like Hog. It's like is he supposed to be a heel? I mean, maybe they're trying to figure out that. But it is, you can't really figure it out from his thing, and the crowd is definitely very silent for this match. So kind of bland ending after the hot LT segments. And then we do get 2 announcements. Next week, we're going to get Bulldogs, Shawn Michaels. So kind of, I don't know if they really talked about that from the Rumble. I can't remember from the Battle Royal, but just randomly they're saying those 2 are going to fight. And then we get the WrestleMania press conference is going to be tomorrow, live, hosted by Todd Pettengill. So kind of weird. I don't think we've had these before. I don't remember if for 9 or 10, them kind of have these like special press conferences. So kind of cool. Like, you wouldn't know going into it what's about to happen. So I thought pretty cool thing there. I would love to find it. I think it'd be awesome to find. I know they show clips of it when LT's there, but it's probably a pretty cool idea. So start building up the Mania.
Mania doesn't feel like Mania yet. Like, I don't know if it's because it's in Connecticut or
Hartford. Yeah,
it's Hartford. Yeah, it's like low. Like, it doesn't feel like a big event. I know they're keeping a lot of things local this time because they're so. Exactly. I don't know if it's because Vince was out of in the trial and everything, and he's not as into it yet, or what. Or if there's so many moving parts, but It doesn't feel like WrestleMania yet.
Well, it feels like they got a lot of moving parts. Like we
Yeah.
would think right now, you would think like, like some of these times they've had matches signed for months, and it feels
Right.
like why have they not announced like King versus Bret? Like you would think Shawn Diesel's the only match I really could think of, right? That you kind of know is happening, but like it feels like you got other matches there, and just like there's the tag team division wouldn't be able to tell. You wouldn't really be able to tell like Double J is supposed to fight Luke or Razor. Like none of these matches kind of are showing up, and then the ones you really think like again, I feel like Bret Lawler seems like a slam dunk. It doesn't happen. So
yeah. And you don't. There's a tag team yet to be formed that's going to perform on the card. It's just very thrown together.
Taker Bundy, there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing for that, right? Have we seen anything between them?
No. Well, DiBiase has the urn, so I guess
that's
kind of
it. But
that could be anybody. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This WrestleMania, I've always had like a weird vibe around it. Like 9 always gets called the worst, or 2, but at least those have the atmosphere and like it's memorable for something. WrestleMania 11 is just like a house show to me, outside of the main event. So we'll see how it goes.
I think 2. I can't give any defense to 2. It's unwatchable.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
The first hour.
At least it has the cage match. At least it has.
True. Yeah, something. But the first hour and a half is really.
Yeah, it's really bad.
So, all right, let's move to the last superstars.
Yep.
I'm not turn this into a WrestleMania 2 podcast, but but I think that's part of why 11, and like you just talked about, it's in Hartford, Connecticut, and they're bringing like LT and all these superstars there. Like it just seems like sorry to our Connecticut friends, but it just seems like a terrible like location compared to like I know that's their home, but like compared to like this one belongs in LA. It feels like right. Like or New York City,
or New York. Like, you got LT, the Giants. Like they should.
Right. Yeah. Or New Jersey, right? Yeah,
or at least New Jersey, yeah.
Yeah. So, give me one second. Sorry. All right, we got one last Superstars taped back on the January 24th, so the day after the Rumble. This is the March 4th Rumble. Superstars. We get 1, 2, 3 Kid in a match. My first note here is 1, 2, 3 comes kick off. It's 30 days to Mania. We have not had a single match. You could assume Shawn Diesel, and then finally we get some WrestleMania highlights. This was random. So this is kind of like I agree with you. Like they haven't really built up WrestleMania, but now they start showing some highlights.
Right.
And the like little flashes they show before they go to the actual highlights. They don't have a single thing of Hogan in there. Okay, I get he's in another company, but he was a big part of your Rumble, every WrestleMania. So try to hide him, it's going to be pretty tough. Mm-hmm. But they show a highlight of Reba McEntire singing the national anthem. Like that's the highlight.
Right.
We're 10 years in, and that's the best we can do. So a little disappointing. There, but that's kind of what it is. And then we get Kama Mustafa. I get both his match, and then he does a quick squash. They talk about how $1 Million Man's been looking at him for some reason, like really weird. Like why is he looking at him? But for some reason, $1 Million Man is kind of interested in him. So that's where we get next. Don't know if you have anything to add.
Like we like Kama, like you said. I don't understand the whole $1 Million Man thing. Like that doesn't make any sense to me as why he's scouting him. It feels like it's just a filler for the corporation, I guess. But that's neither hit. Like why wouldn't they do that with the next guy? Like Henry Godwin's a squash match.
Yep.
Why isn't he getting scouted? He's been there a little bit longer and had more wins, I guess you could say. So that's neither here nor there. So 3 squashes in a row to open up the show. Very kind of tame so far. And then we get a Heartbreak Hotel with Sid. Sid is just so jacked up when he comes out. Like he just doesn't know how to turn it off in a good way. Like he's just so into his character, and it's like I didn't realize he does like the whole master and ruler of the world this early. I always thought that was like his 96 going into the title run thing. So that was pretty cool to kind of hear those things.
Well, he's supposed to be just like a bodyguard here, but yet he's like the star.
That's what I was going to say. He's overshadowing Shawn. Like, Diesel kind of played to the side and was like more quiet and did the whole like rubbing his fist in the glove thing while Shawn talked. And this Sid is just so intense that he like steals the scene. And like he's not the best promo, but there's no one on the roster like him, so he stands out. Like he's still the 80s intense promo wrestler, like you had like LOD and Hogan and Demolition and Ultimate Warrior, like they're all these
Macho
like,
even
right, the colorful like loud promo guys, that were just roided out of their mind, jacked up. You don't have anybody now.
So much cocaine.
Right. And Sid fills that void for people that I think that's why he's so over amongst even the hardcores and stuff, because he just played the role so well.
And he was all in on it. You cannot say Sid's faking this. He is, whatever he believes, he's out there saying it. Right. As nuts as it sounds sometimes, he's just all in for it.
So, yeah, I mean, we've had 2 segments, no matches or anything, and he's just jumped off the charts. He looks awesome. I can't.
He's in great shape.
What he does. Yeah,
he's in great shape. He's caught. Shape. Yeah, he's caught. He doesn't. He looks a little roided up, but he looks. He just looks cut, right?
He's kind of always looked like that. He's always had that tall athletic. There's no one like him as far as intensity, but there's also no one like him as far as the look, because he's like a 6'10" Bill Goldberg. He's got huge traps. He's tall. He's athletic. Looking he's just awesome, man. I love Sid. I love anything he does. I'll be glued to the screen. So at least we got somebody that I can be invested in going forward. And then there's also to follow that up, there's also a Men on a Mission squash. So they kind of keep going back and forth whether they want Mabel to be a singles guy or a tag guy. And I really feel like this is another act that they just missed the boat on, because they were so over on those 93 Raws.
Yep.
With the crowd. They were this era's version of the Bushwhackers.
Are they even champions ever?
Didn't they beat the Quebecers and then
for a day, maybe?
Back?
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember if we saw it. Yeah.
I think it was a house show or something. I think legitimately Mabel fell or something on somebody, and I think that's what happened.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, maybe Money Inc. Did they beat Money Inc. or something?
Maybe. It was either Quebecers or Money Inc. and then they won it back the next night, I think. So,
I think you're right. Yeah, but we didn't see it. It wasn't a Raw superstar. Right. Yeah, right. So, but wasted. Yeah. I mean, they're still over right now. I mean, it's just we know. I don't think they go anywhere. So until they go too far,
right?
Too far over.
Yeah.
Real quick, is Dennis Knight someone? Is that he was?
Yeah, that's Vinny Godwin.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Midian. Yeah, that's what I thought. And I heard Dennis Knight. I'm like, that looks like him, but I didn't look it up. So I was like, if I know anyone, I put that note. So I was like, I know he's gonna figure that out.
Right.
I know he'll figure that out for me. Don't have to Google that.
Right. Yeah, it's weird that he's here and then he doesn't debut for another year. So it's kind of weird. And he was Henry's partner in WCW as well. So it's just it's kind of random that he was just a job guy, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder if it was in for one match only. They were short guys because it's the end of the taping. So who knows?
Yeah, he's a Florida guy, and a lot of these guys are Florida based. It's weird. I don't know where they're at for this taping, but.
They're in Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida.
There you go.
Yeah,
because he lives. I think he still lives in Florida. He's a chef here.
Okay.
But a lot of these guys, Bob Cook was a jobber. He's a notorious Florida guy.
Yep.
Somebody else they had earlier, I've seen notorious Florida guys. So it makes sense.
Well, it was the weekend of the Rumble too.
Right.
So I'm guessing they said hey, there's a bunch of guys gonna be injured. There's probably a bunch of guys injured right from the Rumble or just needing time off. So I'm guessing that's some of it too. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Cook fought 1, 2, 3 kids. So.
Yep.
We do get after that squash, we do get the Mania reports. So this is going to be, again, you're talking about Hartford, Connecticut, and we get celebrities galore. So JTT is going to be there, Pam Anderson, and Jenny McCarthy. We've already seen also Nick Turturro doing his thing. So tons of celebrities, and then we get announced that there's some matches. Finally, we get Shawn versus Diesel, which we kind of knew about, right? Kind of assumed, but they announced that Sid's in the graphic too for it. So they're really making it a 3-way match. And then we get the announcement of that at a press conference. It was announced that it's going to be LT Bam Bam, which is just, again, crazy at this time. They had done the Mr. T stuff and, some of the celebrities, with, back with Lou Albano and Cyndi Lauper, but to be in the main event and in the ring, and LT, like you said, is this isn't just a normal star. This is a mega star at the time, especially being out of New York. He was everywhere. And so his name was synonymous with, football at that time. He's bringing his all-pro team. We got Reggie White, Ricky Jackson, Ken Norton Jr., our boy Steve McMichael, though they put him in Packer uniform, Carl Banks, and Chris Spielman. And I mean, most of those guys were all pros. So really
I
good
love Chris
gets.
Spielman at the time
Yeah.
too.
Right. They're really good gets. Yeah. They got good gets. These are not, kind of weaker guys. I know McMichael's near the end of his career, but these are all pro guys, Pro Bowl guys, couple Hall of Famers. Yep. So pretty good there. But then we get the opponents as their $1 million team. In the photo, they just look like such a joke, this crew.
They do.
You get Bundy, IRS, Tatanka, and then they're bringing him back. Nikolai Volkov. We've been asking for him. He's back. So, they just look ridiculous too, because you get Bundy without a shirt, and then you got Tatanka like in his headdress. Like, it just looks funny. Like, you wouldn't expect these guys to be together as a crew, and especially for them to be like the $1 million crew. So pretty funny there.
It's like the athletes so clearly outstage them as far as like looks wise go, and as far as like intimidating, like kind of they picked like all these badass defensive players like Reggie White and Chris Spielman, Norton, like all these guys are just like legit badasses on the field, and they're huge guys too. So it's not like, they're playing against their own company with this. So kind of interesting to see that.
Pretty funny though. They just when they announced both teams, so we'll see a lot between the two teams, which will be cool as we move on. And then you want to finish us up with the last two, Jobber, unless you had anything else to add on the.
No, I think I'm good there. So we get a Luger squash to, kind of keep him in our mind, I guess. Then we get a Mantaur squash, which, like you mentioned, man, it's weird that he is getting this like. It's not quite a push because he's not really beating any named guys or anything, but they definitely, gimmick aside, they definitely kind of saw something in him, I think, because he, gets talked about good. He gets put over well in his matches. It's not like, just something quick. Like, he dominates the guys, and, his showing in the Rumble and the Battle Royal. So, kind of interesting character. I don't know how long he's here for. I don't really remember. I don't feel like it's too much longer, but kind of interesting to see if he does at least a little feud or something with a lower card guy.
Yeah, and they mentioned that he's going to fight Razor Ramon next week. So I don't know where that came from, but that's, again, this guy we're talking about getting a push out of nowhere. Then they talk about, hey, he's going to step up and face Razor next week. So pretty fun. There that he's kind of jumping up. And then where did I get this? Oh, in the Luger squash, they also mentioned that Luger was talking with his really good friend, British Bulldog. So I don't know where this friendship started from, but they kind of mentioned it. So it kind of seems there.
I know where it's going.
I know where it's going. Yeah, disappointing. And then we end with they kind of made fun of Lawler's foot, that Bret stomped on it. So they kind of end with some toe jokes. I think, again, Vince only did this segment always he can make some jokes about Lawler's toe, but that's how we kind of end. So kind of disappointing little ending to end the thing, but like this is one of the weaker superstars, I feel like. Besides the Sid interview and then the WrestleMania report finally, kind of just a bunch of squashes with guys going nowhere, kids going nowhere, Kama's going nowhere, Henway's going nowhere, Man on Mission's going nowhere. I mean, and Luger's going nowhere. Like, literally all these guys are going nowhere. The only guy you can say is going up in that group is Mantaur. Yep. And that sounds ridiculous say.
It does,
but it's so absolutely true. Yeah. And he looks good. I mean, I actually think he's been pretty good. I'm not.
He's fun to watch. I'm not. I don't care. Like,
and it's funny with the moves. I laugh every time I see the moves. Like, he's into it too. So as much as Cornette's maybe not into it that much, and maybe he's throwing some bad house shows, but like, he's definitely all in this gimmick. Kind of similar like the Berserker. The Berserker is always in character, right? And Mantaur always feels like he's in character too. So. Should we go on to awards unless you got anything else?
No, I think we're good.
Right, let's go on. Most new gen outfit. Man, I had to.
Yeah, so I was gonna go with Jarrett, but I think I have to go Paul Bearer and drag.
Not Mr. Fuji. Not Mr. Fuji.
No. Well,
I'll go Double J because that thing. What a jag off.
It was.
Most new gen performer on this one.
Man, I want to go Mantaur, but I'm gonna go LT. I feel like he nailed his segment. Right. Felt really like big time athlete, celebrity. He stole the show. So.
All right, I'll go Psycho Sid on that. I thought he was amazing. Worst match or segments.
I'm gonna go with that Diesel Jarrett match.
Okay.
For it being a title defense and two higher profile guys, it just really felt flat and didn't do anything for me.
I'll go. I want to give one of these squashes. I'll go Kama squash. both of them. They're kind of weak. I don't think he looks bad, but the crowd was just not into it. And then just saying $1 million, like at least if you're gonna say $1 million, have him come out or do an interview. It's just so lame to
watch him.
Yeah, do something with it. So I thought it was just kind of pointless. Like, what are we doing here? Best match or segments?
So there's a couple decent ones here. I really like the Battle Royal, but it's my guy. I'm gonna have to go with the King's Court introducing Sid.
Yeah, that was a great segment. I was so pumped about it when I saw it. It's kind of weird that it's this late into it. Like I would have thought he was the night after Rumble, but no, it comes out and just the effect he's going to have. There's some great moments with him, but then he's going to be in that main event scene for so long, for a while now. We'll see if it's as bad as it's kind of lived up to. But he's looking awesome so far. Mm-hmm. I'll go the Battle Royal. I thought that was pretty well done. I thought, I think that the Tonka Luger match up until the finish might have won it, but the finish is so bad.
Yeah,
and I can't put it there. Yeah. Who's stock up?
I'm just gonna go with Sid. I feel like he's come in and jumped off the page when he's been there, so I'm gonna have to go with him.
I'm gonna go Mantaur. We talked him up a lot. I mean, this guy probably wouldn't say
that'll be my other choice.
I thought, I really want to go Ken Raper, but I'll stay off him. The Battle Royal, I thought there were a bunch of guys that looked good in that. I thought King and Bret looked good in that. Like King looked pretty good in that. So that was a fun moment. So I think there were a bunch of guys with stock up. Stock down, there was another guy, Luger, I think, with stock down if I was to. Oh, that's our next one. Oh, wait, stock down. Now they'll go Luger.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Diesel stock down. I
agree. Yeah,
he just doesn't feel like a champion. I don't know. He's not a guy that should be like missing all these shows either. Like, he definitely needs the seasoning. So he's not like Hogan or Bret or somebody that can just
at this time. Yeah, not yet. Yeah. And the thing is too, it sucks is we got like 9 more months of this.
I know.
So we'll see if he turns it around. But I feel like we're kind of stuck with this thing, and it's probably what drives, the especially WWE down. They just can't recover until Bret's back on champion. So, well, fun segments. We finally got some WrestleMania. I think, we finally got some WrestleMania build. We got, I think, 8 matches on the card. We got 2 so far, and then I think we'll get some more. We'll see how they get there, too. Like the Backlund thing. Like, did we see him these 2 weeks? No. Like he was around anywhere. Some of these guys, Razor, we really haven't seen much of recently, and so we'll see how this works out. But thanks for everyone for listening, rate, and review. We'll see you in 2 more weeks for the next segments as we build to WrestleMania 11.
Yes, sir.